Okay, I just want to take 2 minutes of your time to show you the benefits of becoming a member of the Green Star Trading Patreon, all the various things you can unlock. So here we are on the Patreon page as you would see it as a prospective customer. So let's just scroll down before we discuss the tiers and have a look at what I've done recently. So if you were to become a patron today, you could potentially unlock 150 exclusive posts, and most of them are going to be video content. For example, I recently did a video for my patrons on bond ETFs. Is it time to buy? Interesting subject. Had a lot of interest from this on the Discord. We've got the most recent live stream from last week. This went on for 4.5 hours and is timestamped on YouTube. We discussed a whole bunch of assets, and the great thing about the live streams is if you request a certain asset in advance, I will find time to look at it. Okay, now I don't care what it is, it could be anything of your choice. I'll try and find time to look at it. We've got a recent Bitcoin video that wasn't available on YouTube as well, where I wanted to go over a few future ideas. Another live stream for you to look at. Another video here, for example, of what I look at in a company. This is going over the financials of companies and how I basically want to assess the health and the value of a company and a stock and the kind of things I look for. And then we've got another live stream here. Then we've got our SCS trades and portfolio monitor. This is a little Excel spreadsheet to help you manage your trading. We've got a few of those as well for you to download, and an explanation of how to use them. We've got a video here on the TLT and the 20-year ETF. None of this, of course, has been available on YouTube. So if you want to become a member today, you'll get access to all that stuff, plus all the educational videos, but it depends on which tier you join. So let's just very briefly run through those. Tier 1, for £5 a month, you will get a exclusive video each week that is not available on YouTube. Tier 2, you get that same video, but you also get access to the public Discord where you can interact with hundreds of members, ask me anything you want. There's an Ask Tom channel there where you can talk to me directly. That's also where you can make requests for the live streams, you can share ideas with one another, and access all the educational content in a nice, easy, playlisted manner as links to YouTube. And then tier 3 is everything in tier 2, everything in tier 1, plus a monthly dividend calendar and stock rating system, and a monthly video for those members to break down the companies I'm most attracted to in those stocks that month. So those are the benefits you can get for joining up today. Please consider it, but I would beg you to leave it to the start of the first day of a new month, because Patreon does not charge pro rata. It will charge you twice. If you sign up on the last day of the month, you'll get charged on the first day of the next month. So please feel free to sign up. We're looking forward to having you on board, but just leave it to the 1st of October in this case, and the 1st of each month if you're watching this advert in the future. Alright guys, thank you very much for listening. Now let's get back to the video. Hello everybody, and welcome to Green Star Trading with me, Tom. All views, opinions and ideas expressed in this video are my own and do not constitute financial or trading advice in any way. Right, it's time to take a look at Ethereum. It's been a fair old while. It's kind of similar to Bitcoin, but it's kind of different as well. So there's a few things to consider here and to look at. We have a bullish count and a bearish count to look at. Now, you'll have to bear with me. You may have noticed my voice is playing up again. Unfortunately, I'm full of cold again. I feel pretty good, to be honest. It's just unfortunate that it's affected my throat. And as my patrons would tell you, after 3.5 hours last week's last week's live stream, it literally gave up completely. So I'm trying to save it so I can give you guys a proper live stream maybe this Friday, hopefully. But either way, we're just going to muscle on and do the best we can here. So first things first. Before we get into the Elliott wave count, let's just have a look at some classical analysis first. So what I'm interested in primarily here with Ethereum, having not come back to the March 20 lows or anywhere near them, having not come through the June lows yet, is essentially just looking at these two retracements. Okay, assuming they're both zigzags of a kind. Okay, that's the assumption we're making. We may not be done yet, we may be done. So first thing I notice is if I look at these in time from high to low, assuming this is complete and this is complete, we've got 328 days here, we've got 220 days here. They both appear to be sharp corrections, and therefore we can label them as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, as we're nesting within the prior wave degree. So that's a bullish way of looking at it, right? It's just flat out bullish. And then we have price corrections. We had a 94.83% drawdown here. we've had an 82.16% drawdown here. So smaller in both scale and smaller in pullback as well, suggesting that it could also be a 1 and a 2 of a smaller wave degree. Okay, so that's all well and good. Retracement wise, if we just take a look at this in the golden zone ratio here, we can see that we're well below the golden zone. This is a linear retracement. We're closer to the 78.6 if we look at it in linear scale. We've gone through the 78.6. Okay, we found support roughly around that area. We did not come straight to a particular fib level. We've come back to the golden zone, which we can see is obvious prior support becoming resistance, right? So a break through this high here, that's kind of what we're looking for. That's primarily what we're looking for. If we get a move higher now, this could be 1 into 2 into 3. Now, if this does turn out to be a 3 instead of an A, you know, that's an X, that's supposed to be an A, excuse me, A, B and C, we could expect something close to parity. But if we get an extremely impressive pickup in momentum here in our momentum indicators, and we get volume coming back in, then we could be looking at 1, 2, 3 and going higher. Okay, so taking out that level, that's the level we want to look at. If we look at our resistance levels here, I've gone for the prior lows as the main source of resistance. That's 1722.19, but the pivot we're really looking at taking out and heading higher is this here at 2020.05. So if we come through that level there, 2020.05, then we made another swing higher. We've gone high, higher low, higher high, and at that point that could be 1, 2, or it could be A, B into C, or 1, 2 into 3. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put that as a default, and we'll put swing high pivot here, because that's all it is at the moment. But if we breach that, that could be a series that could become support for a back test on a smaller wave degree and moving higher. So that's essentially what we're looking for. We want to see that level broken, 2020.05. If we can get back through there, then we have a upward trend, a high, a lower, a higher low, sorry, a high, a low, and a higher high. Okay, we're on our way up at that point. Whether it's ABC complete or 1, 2, 3, we'll have to wait and see. So, excuse me, that's an alert going off. Apologise for that, very loud, I know. So, that's the bullish idea. 1, 2, 1, 2. What if it's not that? Well, where are the likely places for support? So, we've got some significant levels to consider down here. So, we have very strong support at 539.19. Okay, we can actually take this back to these series of highs here, lows, lows, highs and lows, back tested multiple times, and we've got this little demand zone here as well. If we bring in our fixed range volume profiles, you'll see that excuse me, you'll see that that is the major point of control in the prior impulse higher is right here. We can see that on the longer term volume profile as well, and we can see the price support in the prior volume profile of this move down. So that's a major level with support. If we bring back in our fib, have I deleted that? Excuse me if I have. Let's run that fib back up to the high. Okay, now we need to adjust this for log because we're in log scale, and you can see that that demand zone, that prior point of control, and that support level are all sandwiched between the golden zone 61.8 and 65. So if we do come lower, getting into 35915, getting into this level here and finding some support in this area is highly likely. Okay, this is where I think the lowest point would be if we were to collapse from here. And as you can see, we've looked at the Bitcoin chart. It's a very similar story in terms of where we could expect to come back if we do fall lower. Okay, the difference here, and it is a significant difference, is that the move off of the June low can clearly be interpreted as an impulse. This is not the case in Bitcoin. We have to settle for a rather dodgy looking diagonal in Bitcoin, but we can get a clear impulse here in Ethereum. One other thing of note, if we come back to the weekly time frame for the moment and we bring up our indicators, we can see that we're currently back testing the 250 exponential moving average, this green line here. Okay, now we can see how if we don't have enough price data because of the history of Ethereum, but if we did trace this 250, we can imagine it looking something like this. Okay, or something like that. So you can see how we would have bottomed below it in the prior move. We've bottomed potentially below it here as well, and we could come lower again, but we've come down to a very oversold condition. We can see on the weekly time frame we've come all the way from overbought deep down into oversold in the June low. Volume has turned positive since and continued to trend higher. We had a significant spike in volume here at the June low. It has tapered off somewhat since, so a new swing high through that prior high pivot here that we spoke about, a new swing high supported by momentum and an increase in volume would be very heartening to a bullish move higher. Right, now whether it was just a big C or whether we're going into a free, we'll have to wait and see, but at least it's going in the right direction to be bullish at that point. Okay, so that's basically the technical analysis, classical technical analysis sorted out. So let's now come in and have a look at the Elliott wave counts. Okay, so let's just get rid of the moving averages here, close down the volume profiling, and let's have a look at what we've got. So primary count, and this is left blank because we can either fill it with corrective price structure like this, or we can fill it with bullish price structure like this. Okay, and I'm open to either one. As a rule, after I've seen a swing low and a 5-wave move off of it, I tend to, by practice and experience, lean into a bullish idea overall because we've got directionality, we've got 5 up and 3 back. So looking for a long trade makes more sense here than being bearish. Now, it's all about time frame. Swing to a higher pivot, opportunity to be bearish. If you get 3 moves higher, opportunity to be bearish again for that move down. But this after 5 up and 3 back is a potential opportunity to be bullish. Okay, now it doesn't mean you're going to be right, it's just getting the odds set up on your side as best as you can. So now if we look at, let's take the idea of the bullish count then. We've already spoken about going lower. Honestly, if we do go lower, the way I see it happening would be as a double zigzag, ABC to W, X, and a large ABC to Y, likely into those prior levels of support. I would see this initial move down from the pivot high here at 23.1 spot 51. Bloody hell, get my act together in a minute, my head's full of wool. 1 2 1 2, and we're currently in a 2 of a smaller degree, if you see what I mean. So we've gone WXY to here, 1 2 1 2, likely to come a little higher, and then 3 4 5, down we come. So that's how I'd see it bearishly, but I think more interestingly here is the bullish idea, purely because it's clearer than it is in Bitcoin, and in many places a lot of altcoins have come back below that June low and continue to drive down lower. In Ethereum looks significantly stronger. So let's take a look at this interpretation. So WXY to here, completing a double zigzag. If you can get 5, 3 and 5 in here, 5 in this first one, you're a better man than me. I can't figure that out. I have to break it down into a zigzag. But let's come down to the 1 hour chart and have a look at how we can explain what's going on. Okay, so to move off of the low, off of the June low, I have a contracting leading diagonal into a 1 at minor degree. I have a quick zigzag into a minor 2. It's also possible to look at this as a 1, A, B, C expanded flat into 2. That's fine as well. I then get a 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle 5 into 1, 2, deep 2 at minute degree. I get a nice clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into minute 3, A, B, C expanding diagonal into 4, and then I get 5 waves into 3 at minor degree, into 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at minute degree, into minor degree 5, into intermediate 1. And that's how I get up to the high. And it, you know, you could maybe count this if you wanted as a running triangle here, this whole section. But I think I actually prefer it as the way I've done it here. And I think we can get one more piece of subdivision in here as well, to be absolutely honest. At subminuet degree, I think that 3, 4 might actually be there, and that might be the 1, 2. Depends on the length of that 1. Let's have a quick look. We're in log. Let's come off of logarit scale. About 3 slightly longer, that'll work. So a little bit more subdivision there. Now from here, the way I've looked at it is that we've had 5, 3, 5, A, B, C into W, 5, 3, 5 zigzag into X with a flat in the B here. Then we've had 5, 3, and 5 again into ABC, into minor Y, into intermediate 2, and then we've had 1 sideways combination into 2, or flat into 2, and now we're breaking out into a 3. So now we've had 1, 2, 3, and we're coming up now into a larger wave 3. This could be minute. I think you know what? I think I'm going to actually change this to to minute degree. Excuse me. Smaller time frame. We can see we're starting to get some volume in behind this move here after the 2, as we start to move up into the 3rd wave. So that's a bullish sign for the meantime. Now let's have a look at what we've retraced overall of this move so far. Okay, so we've come into the golden zone and come a little lower. Let's make sure we're set up correctly. Okay, there isn't much room to come much deeper, to be absolutely honest. I mean, we could, but there doesn't seem to be enough room left after putting in such a large structure here. If this is all sideways move, there doesn't appear to be much room lower to go. Right, so let's lock that in place, hide it out of the way, and then I'm going to put in an invalidation point right down here at the low. And we'll lock that into the count. 883 spot 06. Okay, lock those down, and we'll put those in to the bullish alternate. Now I'm not sure if I should be saying alternate or primary, to be absolutely honest with you. There's 2 elements of the primary count. I'm really uncertain, but as I've discussed prior, if you've seen what can be interpreted as an impulse up, and you've seen what can be interpreted as 3 ways back, you should be looking at the next swing as bullish, as an opportunity to set up a trade to the upside. And I think we are going to head higher from here. Now, whether or not this actually turns out to be, in the end, A, B, and C, there's still a strong probability, I think, of a swing higher. Now, if we get a new swing high, we can look into this wave and start to pick it apart and see how convinced we are by its bullishness or lack of. But a move higher in the meantime seems to make sense. Now, if it does, for whatever reason, break down, fair enough. Right, we're still doing good practice here. It just doesn't always go your way. Here's your invalidation point for the bullish interpretation, is 883.60. A move below that and we're bearish and heading lower. A move above that swing high pivot here, right, that's a big positive. Okay, because you've got an opportunity to trade it from here anyway, so you've got a potential quite a nice chunk of profit to make on the way up. But if it does start to look like a wave 3, then we could be into something pretty impressive here. So I don't want to get everybody's hopes up and say the crypto market's bottomed. We know how low down we are in many a place, and sell-offs of 90% and higher in places. I've been through them several times in my life, and I'm starting to get the feeling that the bottom is coming up close, coming up quickly. I've already expressed my opinion on the stock market that we're a little overdone. Yes, we can move lower. I don't want people to think, well, I'm incapable of being bearish. Of course I'm capable of being bearish. But you don't want to miss the rallies or the potential rallies because you're too bearish to see them. Okay, better to be a little bit risk on when the odds are on your side and be wrong than it is to never take risk at all. That's my personal opinion. You might disagree, but that's fine. Either way, that is all I've got to say here today on Ethereum. Keep it relatively short and sweet. I'm just going to put that pivot in there as an original pitchfork, just in case that is the low. I want to see where an 80% probability of reaching the median line. You can see how if you get up here now, potentially, right, median line could swing us above that wave 1 high, and yes, of course, that could mean that it's ABC. But either way, we've seen what can be interpreted as an impulse off of the low and the correction back to over 61 to 61%, which is the golden ratio. So we've come back deep. So I see that as an opportunity to buy in the meantime, at least. Now let's come on to the day time frame just while we wrap things up here. So let's have a look at this low. We have at the lows some pretty telling divergence, okay, on the RSI and the MACD. We haven't got the volume of a breakout yet by any means, but if it comes, it's going to look very positive. It's not here yet though, but we do have bullish divergence after coming to oversold conditions of a daytime frame, so some kind of bounce from here should be anticipated. Whether it materializes into a rally, only time's going to tell. Alright then guys, thank you very much for joining me on this technical analysis of Ethereum. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel and you like what you've seen, please feel free to subscribe, smash the like, hit the little bell icon to remain informed of future video notifications, and feel free to leave us a comment in the comment section below. As always, a huge thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Your support is greatly appreciated and keeps me doing this, really. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, there's a link in the description box below. Head over, have a read of the various tiers, and feel free to sign up at the start of the month, would be my advice. You get all sorts of stuff. You get access to public Discord, you get weekly live streams, you get dozens of educational videos, including a 14-part Elliott wave series, which I'm always adding to, as well as classical analysis series as well, and access to me if you want to ask me any questions. Alright then guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll be back with you as soon as possible. All the best. Bye bye.